All right. Let me log on to the YouTube also. All right, and get this thing
Yeah.
going so I can see the chat. Say peace, peace, and love to everyone. Greetings, greetings, everyone, to everyone that's going to be joining, to everyone that's going to be watching. Say peace, love, honor to you all, right? And welcome, welcome to this live, right? This live, the audio will be uploaded onto our podcast, xtabi-media, right? And you can get access to that on Encore, on Spotify, on Apple Radio, Google Podcasts. Um, I think it's also on iTunes. Um, uh, it's on a whole bunch of platforms. I'll put the link um to it. Well, Arak, if you could put the link to it in the chat later on, right? But we'll also upload it on the in the top of the comment section, and we'll put it also in the description box as well. All right. So this we'll do that later on as we go along. So I'm here with Brother American Arawaks. All right. Go ahead, brother, if you want to introduce yourself.
Greetings,
All
people.
right.
Greetings. How you doing?
Yeah.
Um, Good to be here. For this live stream. You hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna keep
We can hear
talking.
you.
So it's good to be on
Yeah, we
this
can
live
hear you.
stream, and you know, I thank the subscribers today, and we're gonna touch on a few things and you know, do some clarification in terms of what to look for or what to do. Not legal advice, just on just a suggestion. You know,
Yeah.
if you choose to pursue your tribalism, your nationhood, or your roots, and connect back to your people without any kind of middleman or any proxy. Um, and kind of point you into the direction of the psychological warfare that's taking place. And a lot of our people are, a lot of times they fall victim to these things. So it's really as simple as just knowing who you are. That's it, and you just pursue that based upon your knowledge of itself. But go ahead, brother. I'll just
Yeah. So to start, I want to go over a video, right? And this video is about this thing that they have going around saying the rise of the Moors. The video of the brothers them that was on the highway and state troopers shut them down, arrested some and some supposedly didn't get arrested, right? I want you to pay attention. All these dudes is there at the same spot, same time, and some supposedly got away or weren't arrested and some were arrested or some is still in jail and some is not in jail, right? Um in today's reality, it's you have to be able to tell what's real and what's fake, or if folks are just agents or this is just acting, okay, to lure you into an entrapment type of environment. Uh, but with that being said, Arak, whenever you're ready to share the video, right, we can screen share the video and show it to the people, right? So we do have this video that we want to screen share with you guys. So just give us a second, because operating from my cell phone. So yeah, because this video is it's very interesting. And then after that, we're gonna go over the Taino recruitment application, and we're gonna go over the Moorish Science Temple recruitment application afterwards. And we're gonna point out a few things to you guys, right? And then we're also going to deal with the Maroons in the Caribbean, and the trap that's being laid out as well by some who are Maroons and those who are unwitted in the communities around them of this land grab that they're doing, right? And it is what it is, and you're going to see that what this whole thing is, it's about bonds. They understand about signatures, and using signatures to create bonds on the stock market, or to sell back, or to partner with the corporation, where the corporation put it on the stock market, and they have access. And these little organizations, they now have access to those bonds, which also gives them access to your lands, which still puts you back on a government, corporate government construct. Okay, that means you're not truly what you would call sovereign, right? All right, yeah. Whenever you're ready to pull up the video, yeah. So that's what I tell people, man. It's right in your face, clear as day. If you have to join an
Yeah, I might
organization
have
that you
to.
have,
Seem like there's a delay.
there's a delay. Okay. All right. I'll stall until it's able to come up, because it's important that they show them the video, right? Or we'll just go over the application
Yeah,
while the
like
videos
some
while the video uploading.
the live don't feel right.
All right. Um. All right. Pull up the application. Let's pull up the application, and then we'll pull up the video later on. All right. If everyone could hear us clearly, press one in the chat. If everyone could hear us clearly. All right. The sound is good. The sound is good. So yeah, I mean, all of these applications, all of this, it's this is why these folks are doing these things, right? And they are asking you for information that they're telling you in their videos that you're not supposed to be giving out to anyone, but yet still they're asking you for that information, right? What are they doing with it? You understand? Your signature, your autograph on any document is powerful, and that's what they use on these documents to get these bonds created. These are the bonds that's being pushed on the stock market. This is important because places like China, India, Russia, these countries, all they do is buy up these bonds. Okay, just like how they buy up the debt of the U.S. currency. All right, which is a debt note. They buy it up in bulk, and by the millions, hundreds of millions. All right, so you're being traded, or your straw man is being traded on the stock market because of your signature on their application that they gave you to join their society, your autograph. Okay. All right, I see it, Arawak. I'm about to add it now. All right. So whenever you're ready to to pull it up, he dropped off.
Yeah,
All right, try screen sharing again. It dropped you off.
Yeah, somebody tamper on my laptop, bro.
Yeah, that shit is crazy.
Yeah, so I had to
That
come
shit is
back.
crazy.
That's why I dropped off and come on the phone. Was in the laptop,
Okay.
the whole Gmail just like disabled. Yeah,
All right. Let me pull up the. Let me. All right.
that shit crazy, bro. That's crazy.
Okay. Okay. Let me see. Hold on, because it's important that we're able to screen share it. Um, shit.
That tamper my shit, yo.
All right. You want to try it one more time?
Yeah, I'm gonna try again. Hopefully
Okay.
it got you. But yo, just add me. When you see me come in, just add me. I'm just disable this one.
Yeah, I got you. I got
Yeah.
you. All right. Give us this. Just give us a few folks. We're trying to get this thing together, right? Trying to get this thing together so that we're able to, because it's important that you guys are able to see what we're talking about, so that it doesn't just look like we're running our mouths, right? We want to be able to show you what we're talking about, because it's not hidden, like it's in our faces, it's right there. So let me just see if our brother could get it up. And all right, all right, wait, there you go. Do it one more time, Arak. I think I double clicked and it removed you, right? It delayed.
Yo,
Yeah,
you
do it
hear
one
me?
more time. I double clicked. I double clicked on it by mistake. One more time.
Do what? Leave?
No, no, no. The screen share.
Oh, I'm gonna do it now. Yes. Hold on.
Oh
I'm gonna
yeah,
do it right
yeah,
now. Okay. Let me see if this thing will delay too. It's like it feel like it just lagging, like something don't feel right. It
yeah,
just
yeah.
it never lagged before. It just keep going, but this is just lagging now for some reason. I don't know why. It's crazy, man.
It'd be like that when you want to share vital information or point out vital stuff. It'd be like that,
Hmm.
right? But while they're getting it up, I'm just gonna like read off their application, right? So for folks
It's
who
coming up.
have not seen this application,
It should be coming up
okay,
anytime
all right,
now.
I got you. All right, all right, it should be coming up now. Your screen share is up. You just got to pull up the application now.
Yeah. Put it up. Put it up. Put it up on the screen.
Yeah, you got it. You got it. You just have to pull it up
Oh, it's
now.
up.
Yeah, yeah. Just pull it up now on your screen, and it's good. Your screen is coming up, but the it look like it's taking a while to load.
Oh, it's up. Okay.
Yeah, might want to probably try to refresh it or
Oh,
give it a few more seconds. So what we're waiting on to load on our screen is the Moore Science Temple application, right? Yeah, and on it you'll see the Liberty Bell with the damn. It kicked him out. Oh, he's not playing. It kicked him out. They yeah, I'm getting frustrated. They kicked him out. Yeah, 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 yeah. They're booting him out because, like I said, I don't. My laptop has been hacked into and totally decimated. So I don't have a laptop to screen share myself. So I'm operating from my cell phone. So Arawak is the one that He pulls up the information on his computer and he screen shares it for me, and I read off what I have on my phone, right? So it looked like what they're doing is they're tampering with his stuff so that he can't pull up the information. But I'm just going to read it off from my phone and wait for him to join back in, right? So this is the Moorish Science Temple, Divine and National Movement of North America, Inc. It says number 13, the Moorish American National Republic, national headquarters, application for Moorish American citizenship. This is such bullshit. Let's keep going. Right. So this is it's in red and black ink. Post office box. First of all, they have a PO box. Post office box 2348. Right. That's 23408 Baltimore, Maryland. All right. So that's a PO box. So it's a business. You understand? It's a business. All right. Um, and then it says note, please print or type clearly. Incomplete applications will not be processed. Yada yada yada. All right. And they want your photo ID, all sorts of stuff. Now we're gonna go into it. It's asking for your name at birth, current name used, maiden name, address, city, state, or zip code, right? It's asking for mailing address if different, city, state, or zip code, right? It's asking for your home, cell phone, email, application, your signature. Below that, right? We're gonna wait. I think Arak is probably still trying to get back in. Below that, it says applications are not returned or not returnable. Do your reading. Attend our Sunday call. Make make sure you are in the right place because you are naturalize you are, and then has a smile, emoji smile, right? Then it put naturalization processing fee $125, age 13 and above. Oh my god. Anyway, go on down to the application for Moorish American citizenship data sheet. And the first thing they ask you for is your social security number, the front and back of the social. And the first thing when you watch their videos, they tell you, you don't need a social security number. And a social security number is attached to a bond, which is attached to a bank account, which, you could get access to that bank account. But why are they asking you for it to join their organization? What does that organization need with your social security number? Why? Then not only does it ask you for your social security number, they're asking for your driver's license number. Yeah, Arak is trying to get on. Hold on, y'all. They're really messing with his stuff. All right, Arak, I got you back now. All right, so they're asking for when you're ready to try to screen share again, let me know, bro. So they're asking for your social, they're asking for your driver's license number, right? Then it goes down into your date of birth, country of birth, city, state, so on and so. It goes down into your high school. Did you graduate? What? None of this shit is needed. None of this shit is necessary, right? To if you're a nation, and a sovereign nation, and you're building a tribal community, what does the social and the driver's license number have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? And that's something that even the federal government themselves tell you that you're not supposed to give it to anybody because it belongs to the federal government. Why are you giving it to these people? Hmm? Just keep going. So social, driver's license number, right? High school, college. Um, want to know the degree that you have. The other part of the application, application for Moorish American citizenship, employment, place of your place of employment, uh, consent to a background check. All right, there's nothing wrong with that. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. This is so crazy. Okay, you got the video? All right, let's go over the video. Let's go back. Let's go over the video. Um, whenever you're ready to play the video, bro, I'm gonna unmute you. Uh-huh. This is what is that? All right, so the video that we're going to be looking at, it's
You see in
let
the
me go
screen
back.
now?
Let me pull it up. Yeah, I can see the screen now. All right, so now you could play it. You could play the video. So this is fair use, fair use. This video is from Channel 5. Fair use, fair use. You playing it?
Yeah. Give me a minute. Just lagging. Give
Wow.
me a minute.
All right. If it doesn't play for the video don't play, what I'll do then I'll just play the audio of the video. I'll just play the audio, right? Instead of the video. Okay. So I'll just in case, let me go over to the audio. Give us a second, folks. All right, I'll play the audio, Arawak. You don't gotta show the video. I'll just put the link to the video in the chat, right? So that they can see the link to the video themselves. I'll just play the audio. All right. All right, so there's a lag, people. So even when I'm communicating with him, there's a lag. All right.
Lagging, bro.
Yeah, cut. All right, cut the video. I'll play the audio. I'll play the audio. All right, so I'm gonna play the audio. It booted him again. All right, I'm gonna just play the audio, y'all. All right. So this is called "Police Use Sonic Blast to End the Rise of the Moors Standoff." All right. So again, this is from Channel 5 News. I say fair use, fair use, fair use. Okay.
It was 1 a.m. when state police encountered nearly a dozen men on 95 who were heavily armed and wearing body armor. The self-proclaimed militia was traveling from Rhode Island to Maine for some type of training. None allegedly has any license to carry weapons. The incident led to a 9-hour standoff.
At that point, three of the individuals could be heard loading their rifles, and 8 of them jumped over the guardrail into the wood line.
Last night, the police chief in Wakefield revealed at a town council meeting how the SWAT team known as NEMLEC used a sonic cannon to help capture some of the suspects. The device, like the one seen here, essentially blasts a disconcerting noise.
NEMLEC deployed what's called an LRAD.
Shit's so fake.
LRAD is a very high-pitched audible alarm, which basically disables somebody temporarily. So they deployed that and were able to successfully take the remaining 9 people into custody.
Today, 3 of the suspects were in court for a dangerousness hearing. The judge ordered they remain held without bail.
We're not anti-government, we're not anti-police, we're not sovereign citizens.
Meanwhile, the leader of the group, Jamal Latimer Bey, is wanted by Rhode Island authorities. He allegedly violated bail conditions from an arrest made last year in that state. And another suspect is also wanted in Rhode Island, Quinn Cumberlander, for allegedly providing false information when he tried to buy firearms in Warwick. All 10 of the suspects remain behind bars here in Massachusetts. Live in Medford, Sarah Conji, WCVB News Center.
Now, I'm going to replay this back, and we're going to break it down segment for segment. All right. Now, first of all, the rumor is that they were going to go for tactical training. Remember, they signed the treaty of the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship with the United States Corporation. The Moorish American Corporation signed a treaty with the United States the Moorish Corporation signed a treaty with the United States Corporation. And that's the Treaty of Peace and Friendship. For them to be here saying that they're going for tactical training, you're not in the U.S. military, you're not on the U.S. police force, you're not on the U.S. Sheriff's Department, you're not in the U.S. federal government agencies. Where and why are you going for tactical training? And who are you going for tactical training for? Who are you going to war with? Who? You're breaking your treaty. They're breaking the treaty, right? Now, this is so many different things on so many different levels, right? So many different things on so many different levels. I just added you back in, Arawak.
Yeah, bro, they don't want this information. No, trust me. The sabotage. It's like something with Google Chrome, like they could sabotage it from there.
Yeah, it's cool. That's the Operation Dragonfly thing, right?
Yeah.
Because again, the Moorish Science Temple is a branch of the United States Corporation. They're not a nation, and that's what people need to understand. They are not a nation. They've just been taking your information and getting access to those bond accounts. All right. This is a entity that has been around for over 100 years and hasn't done shit for none of your communities. Period. And if you don't understand about these bond accounts, one account alone holds at least 20 to 30 billion dollars. Understand this. And the only way they get access to it is if you give them the information on that application, and then you sign, then you put your signature on it. You sign off with your signature agreeing to give them access to all that. Okay? One big goddamn scam. Now you see these dudes talking about they were going to tactical training. First of all, have you ever seen Taj Bey walk the streets with a big firearm on his back? No. Have you seen Jonah Bey walk the streets with a big firearm on his back? Have you seen Yusuf El walk the streets with a big firearm on his back? No. And these are some of the top pioneers of the community. You have not. Have you seen Lord Abba walk the streets with a big firearm on his back? They know they have the right to bear arms or armor. They know they have the right to self-defense. They know they have all these things because these are things that you are born with. No man shall take it away from you, right? But there's a right way and a wrong way and a responsible way to do things. So, which man you know that's going to go tactical training is dressing up in all of this military gear, guns loaded? So the police said. The police said that they heard them loading their guns. You know, police officers are liars, so you got to take their word with a grain of salt, also as well, right? But I know when me and my friends, when we are going to the shooting grounds, when we get there, we change. And what we're changing into, we get our stuff ready and we go shooting. We don't dress up in our military gears and all these things, saying that we have the right to this and that and walk with flags blocking off the highways and this stuff. What that does, it doesn't help nothing that's happening now. What that does is there's a segregation line. Those who don't know nothing about sovereignty, you shall be cut. Those who don't know nothing about sovereignty and have not yet gone through the process of freeing yourself from the corporate structured system, you'll forever be entrapped, because it's going to come a point where they're just going to start saying "F you," we're no longer taking none of your paperwork. We're no longer going to give you access to any of these things. You understand? And those who already had access to those things that already situated themselves will always be situated. They'll be called grandfathered in. You understand? So you now, the person on the outside that is now just waking up, you're not going to have access to these things because of people like that. This is the psychological reverse psychology, or the programming of this thing, right? And I want to be careful in how I'm breaking it down, because remember, they are contracted with the corporation. They are business partners with the corporation. So if the corporation is trying to say, yo, we want to pass these gun laws and be able to restrict certain type of firearms or even small arms fire or handguns, so that you can no longer carry these things, like how they clamp down on people in Europe and England. Yeah, that's what they're going to do to you, the average man and woman, because people like that, who are going around just flaunting all these big firearms and making sure that state troopers shutting off highways and all these things, saying that they're going tactical training. Tactical training for who? Whom are you going tactical training for? People go tactical training when they're going to war. The thing is, people, you can get everything you want when you do your documentations and put them in. You need not to walk around and flaunt any guns. That's why you don't see Jonah Bey, Taj Tariq Bey, none of these men and women walking around flaunting all these big firearms. This is why they don't do it. This is a paperwork process thing. You understand? Guns is the last resort. It's never the first option. And this is why these folks are being put on a terroristic watch list with the Black Lives Matter community and the BIE watch list. Okay? So when you're going out there getting their ID card and it's saying Moorish American of the Moorish Science Temple, your ass just got put on a terroristic watch list. You understand? And what they're trying to do now is, well, what they are doing, they are linking the Moorish name and titles to the indigenous tribes of the Americas, of what's left. Okay? They're linking it. So they'll say we're Moorish American and Arawak. And they're tied to that. But as long as you have that Moorish name, flag, and all that shit on your stuff, you're still being put on the BIE watch list. Because there's no such thing as a Moorish American. You understand? Their whole statement, their whole identity that they're trying to push, they say that they come from Mu. Well, Mu, is over in the Pacific. Yes. Mu is underwater. So if you came from Mu and Mu is underwater, and here you are going in the Caribbean islands of the Atlantic, going into the countries of South America, North America, saying this is Morocco. You went from Mu to now saying this is Morocco. This is not Morocco, and this is not Mu. You understand, people, what's going on here? And this is why you're deemed and being looked at now as hostile or crazy, because you're claiming lands, and you're claiming lands that's not yours. If you're a Moor and you're claiming this here to be your shit, it's not yours. You are a terrorist on someone else's soil. If you know your ancestry is Arawak, Choctaw, and these things, and you're throwing in the whole Moorish corporation in on it, yeah, because that's what it is. It's a business under the guise of a nation. It's not a nation. It's a business. Okay? Understand, people. All it is a business. And what they've learned is that once they get your name, once they get you to sign off your name on their documentations, it gives them access to that strawman account that the corporation created and made you think that that was you. But that was actually a business that the corporation created so that they could wash and funnel their money through it for the new form of what is considered or called human trafficking. Okay? So they're trading you on the stock market, state property, stocks and bonds. And this is what they now have access to because you joined their corporation and you signed off on the documents. This is why they're asking for social security and driver's license. Now, asking for driver's license because your information is going through the DMV database. You understand? You're still being registered under businesses that is contracted with the corporation. The DMV is contracted with the federal corporation. The US, the United States, on the 18 USC 300215A states that the United States is a federal corporation. All right? Understand, people. So you're not freeing yourself from nothing. You're being used, and these people are getting access to these accounts. Okay? 100 years. They've been around for 100 plus years. And they've been getting access to these accounts, and they've been creating bonds off of your information that you're giving them. They're creating these bonds. And where are the schools that they built in your communities? Where are the schools that they've supposedly built to where they can say, yes, we can now go out and educate what the people who they're wrongfully calling African American, give them proper education away from the corporate education. They have not done so. It is, well, you have to join our organization. Oh yeah, you're gonna have to change your name, or you're gonna have to add on our title onto the end of your name. If you're not gonna change your name, you have to add on L, Ali, Bay, Day, these titles onto your name. Okay, which is now altering your name. Then now you have to wear this fez and call yourself a Moor before we can give you any form of educational material for you and your children. That's indoctrination. That is a secret occultic society. You understand? Now, on the Taino application, oh, and let me finish up with this. So in that video, it says that the officer says I could hear them loading their gun, and loading their guns and all these type of things. I don't know if he could. I don't know how he heard them loading their guns when they were good how many yards away from them, and these folks are still in their vehicle and someone's outside of the vehicle. How do you hear a gun being loaded from that far away? If you guys, when you guys are able to see that video, you see that that's part of the story's bullshit. It's either this is one big fucking act, yeah, or these guys are just stupid. Either it's one big act or they're just stupid, right? They keep kicking Arawak out of the stream, right? They keep kicking him out because it's the information. The information is more powerful when you see it, right? But people, normal people, or the rational thinking person, don't go fully armored up to go to a range how many miles away for tactical training. It's like when you're going paintballing, most people get dressed when they get there at the paintballing place. You get dressed when you get there. You take your gear out, you unlock your gear, your paintball gun, you load up, you get dressed, you go paintballing. When you're leaving, you change your clothes, you put your paintball guns away, and you go home. If you claim you are at war, then why are you advertising it to who is supposed to be your enemy out there like that on national television? That shit is stupid. They're setting you up, people. Stop following these Negroes. They don't know what they don't know what they're doing, or again, they're actors for the corporation. You understand? The helicopter's been hovering over my house for the longest. I don't know if you guys are hearing it, but yeah, it's been hovering over my house for like half an hour now. But yeah, now you have the
You want me to play the
what
video in the background?
I played the audio already.
Okay. Cause yo,
Yeah, I
they're
played.
chopping me off, bro.
Yeah, I see it. I see it. I see it. And you know, there's a helicopter hovering over my house for like 30 minutes now.
Bro, I kid you not. Every time I connect, I click share, the thing just cut off, bro. The thing just stop.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, bro. Trust me, it's cool. Right. What you could do though, you could nah, don't even, because I don't want them to cut you. But you could read through the application, right? You don't got to share it. Just you can read through it and then break down your thoughts of the application. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
All right. Just let me know when you're ready. When you got it up and you're ready, I'll let you break down your thoughts of the application. And then we'll go over the Taino application, because the Taino application is asking you for blood type and all that shit, right? Yo, you think these people are playing? They're not playing. They're literally. This is how they're conquering you. While they're advertising this gun shit and this gun that, they're conquering you by getting you to sign their documentations, their paperwork, which now you've acknowledged them. All you're doing is giving them acknowledgement. This is how they're being recognized. You understand? And you're acknowledging them to be one of you, and now you're giving them access to your tribal lands, and then you signed over all that shit, all those tribal lands, all those lands underneath them. This is why I'm like, yo, I hope PMOC is not pulling some sort of scam, because he claims that he's no longer part of the more science temple or whatever, but a part of me feels like he's just acting like a proxy between the tribes now in the Caribbean and stuff, to be operating as a like I said, yeah, a proxy. You understand? Which is like he's still a part of the whole science temple, but he's just not using the science temple thing because he knows there's a stigma onto it, and a lot of people are catching on to the scam. You understand? But
Yeah.
you know, you ready, Arawak?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead. You got the floor.
Okay, so this is the application. It said Guainia Taino tribe of the Virgin Islands tribal application, right? So at the beginning of it, it say they have personal information. Um, It's asking for name, phone number, date of birth, place of birth, gender, blood type, city, state, zip code, country, and the second part of it says um I trace my indigenous lineage to my um maternal side. So the options for that are maternal side, or both sides. And then down after that you have identify myself as, and this is where the language, right? This is where paper genocide steps in, right? So down here it's saying I identify myself as, right? This is what the application is saying, not me. One say Taino, Boricuan Taino, Iskea Taino, and Boricuan is Puerto Rico. That's the name of Puerto Rico, right?
They so fucking racist,
And
bro.
yeah, and what happened is they're the one who got really amalgamated with the Castilians. So they're so like mixed to the point they're not no more melanated too much. You understand? So this is where they make the term Taino up based on that type of genetical manipulation, right? Um, and Quisqueya don't have Tainos. Quisqueya has Arawaks. Quisqueya is Haiti. Okay, there's no Taino over there, unless you want to talk about Dominican Republic. But see, it goes back again to the ethnic cleansing that they're doing over in South America. That's what they call the Blancamiento, right? That's when they take the mother, the indigenous mother, they intermarry with the indigenous mother, and the baby, the issue of that union now goes along with one of their people, and it's very strategic, you know. So this one is a Kubanakan Taino, Sibani Taino. What the hell is a Taino? I don't know what is a Taino. What is that? Everything is ends with Taino. What is Arawak? Taino, if it's gonna be Taino, will be, if anything, Taino will be a subgroup of Arawak, and
No,
that's a
you know why they
subgroup
did that?
that heavily amalgamated.
You
Yeah,
know why they did
go
that
ahead.
too, bro? Because when they're listing the options, right? Like Taino Arawak, Taino Kalinago, Taino this, Taino that, they put Taino on everything because what they're doing is they're erasing the Arawak identity, right? Because they know the Arawakan people was of a dark and a brown complexion, and to show you how racist they are on the application. After they give you all the Taino listings, they then go down and say Black Carib, Arawak, Garifuna, right? So they
Yes, at the
segregated
bottom. Yes, they
yes.
segregate
So
you.
what they did,
Yes, that's what they do.
they segregated you because even on the older applications, they never had that shit. They started putting Black Caribbean, and to show you how racist they are, they put you as black, knowing that black means civilis mortus. It means dead at law. You understand? So that's still
Yep.
paper genocide at the same time because our people didn't identify as black. The people of the Americas never identified as black. That is something that's newly just came in, not even 50 something years old. You understand? Up until the 60s, even in the 70s, people was not identifying themselves as black. Okay? They weren't. So they put Black Carib. This is where they segregated the interracial mixture ones, and they segregated them to the ones that are not so fully interracially mixed. And this is why you see Taino people, supposed Taino people, popping up in Puerto Rico, popping up in Jamaica, popping up in Haiti, popping up in Cuba, because those islands are still predominantly dark-skinned Negro people. And then what they're doing is they're listing them as African descents. You understand? But when you ask
Yes.
them in their history do they not have a dark-skinned grandmother and grandfather? They'll get quiet as shit. They'll get so quiet. But when you look at the old maps of the Americas, the folks that was on there, and you're going to see where they started doing the paper genocide, because the genocide came in Haiti, in Kiscaya, what they call what is called Haiti today, was during the Order of the Black Friars. That's what they're called, right? Where it was the religious group that came down to Haiti that started the whole intermixing of the Castilians. You understand? And this is where you're getting your Taino from. Because Taino just means mixed race people. All right, you understand? And so they understand this. And what they've been doing, just like going back to Nazi Germany with the biracial children that they put in the Nazi internment camps, what they were doing, it was a massive reprogramming process where they were getting the biracial to turn against their darker brothers and sisters. You understand? Because it was an ethnic cleansing. And then after that happens and the biracial turns against their darker brothers and sisters, then the Castilian or the more paler version, they come and they replace the biracial child. They breed them out as well, because now the biracial then gave them access to the land because they have the blood. They have the indigenous blood in them. They do have the indigenous blood in them. I can't sit here and tell you that they don't have the indigenous blood in them. But what they're doing is they're such programmed people and racist against their own darker people that what they're doing is they're selling out the land and entrapping you to the corporate government. That's what they're doing based off of a caste system of a colorized colorism. This is what they're doing. So because they've been getting called out on it heavy, they put black Carib on the freaking application. You understand? Well, go ahead, brother. You can finish reading the rest of the application. Arawak. All right, we're gonna give him a little bit because he does have a lag.
You still here?
Crazy. Yeah, that helicopter is still over my house, hovering. Go ahead. You can finish reading the application.
Yeah, so further down it says, so it's remember where it say I identify myself as, it's like a pyramid. So they put all the lighter tone people up the top, which is Taino, because Taino just means is a mix. That's a mix of Castilian people. So they got some of the tribal names right, but they put Taino with it. So now it becomes a compound word. So you change the the authenticity of the tribe when you add Taino to it. So
Yeah.
down here you got Siboney, Chibaro, Taino, Guajiro, Taino, Taino Kalinago, Yamaye, Taino. Right, these are at the bottom now. Kalinago,
Yeah.
Carib, Black Carib, Kalinago, Arawak, Garifuna. So you see they put all those tribes that are dark. The Kalinagos are dark. The Yamaye are dark. The Carib are dark. Garifuna people are dark. The Arawak is dark. It's one and the same people. They're all Arawakan people. But they put them all at the bottom. They put Arawak at the bottom. So that show you that they're erasing the identity. Okay. Down here, ask a mother name, place of birth, maternal. So that's where you give the genealogy, I guess. And you get, they want you to pay $75 for what? Please be sure to include a copy of your DNA results. No, this is a scam. This is a scam. Okay? There's no tribe. Even the tribes on the mainland, they don't ask for DNA results. You have to have paperwork. So this is a scam. You can't use DNA to um, match people ancestral history. Unless that ancestral member is alive. No, most of the ancestors, they're not here. So how do you get a sample of them to determine the my lineage? You can't do that. It's impossible. You can't dig the grave up, right? You won't exhume the bones, right? So why would I subscribe to this? This is a scam. So down here, it's talking about ID cards will be issued by Bureau of Motor Vehicles in Virgin Islands. That's another red flag. Okay, they're going through the corporation Bureau of Motor Vehicles, right? That is a red flag. That's an incorporation. Furthermore, it did say it's an incorporation, right? It said this tribe is an incorporation. That's what it said. Incorporation on what? The corporation that's called Virgin Islands. Virgin Islands. So they're just conspiring with aiding and abetting with a corporation to grab your lands and reclaim and rename everything over. That's paper genocide, and that's like the Blancamiento. That's ethnic cleansing. Okay, so we pick up on it, right? We pick up on the scam. Okay, you can't use DNA to link me to a tribe. It's impossible. Impossible. Okay.
Now, the
Um.
go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
So down here they have I think that is a constitution, but that's like a corporate law. This is a corporate law for the incorporated entity. This is
Yep.
not this is not a sense. This is not a genuine community like family people who are connected through their lineage or they're not genuine. This is a made up thing. They just make it up out of thin air. Okay, and they
Pretender Indians.
incorporated it. So it's yeah, it's not genuine. It's not like coming from a place of say grassroots without an incorporation, right? So
Because look,
if you yeah, go ahead.
because look, every corporation has to have a constitution. The United States has a constitution. You understand? If you are if your family, your immediate family is your tribe, yeah, you have your laws, your rules that are set down, okay, for that tribe. Now, when they incorporate, they have to have their constitution, right? So that constitution is now a trust document, a business document for their corporation because they're incorporated. You understand? So it's not like you say, okay, you know that there's a straw man out there, an all capital letter name, but then you have the average version of how the name is supposed to be written, the proper way of how a name is supposed to be written. That represents the living, breathing man. They don't have that. All they have is the corporate entity. And what they're doing is getting you to join and sign up on it. They'll say, hey, we're being recognized, or we have a cacique that's about to be recognized in St. Thomas, or a cacique that's about to be recognized like the Duke Kalan in Jamaica, right? But what is actually happening is you are signing that application and you're giving them the recognition. And they take those signatures and they bring it down to the corporate government and they say, look, we have these amount of signatures for our recognition. and you unknowingly gave them that recognition, which then they turned around and erased your ass out of the history books and start saying everything is Taino, 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 right? Because when you go back to the history books and the journals of the 15, 14, 13, 12, 1100s, it mentions nothing about a Taino. There's nothing about them. You understand? What they did was they took a word out of the Arawak language of the many tribes of Arawakan tribes that existed. They took a word and they said, all right, we're going to run with this name here and we're going to put it on everything. Now, I've been around on the YouTube community for 7 years. 7 years ago, when we pulled up any history of the Americas, Taino never came up. So this goes to show you that they have a big backing of dollars behind them, because now everywhere you go on the internet, it's Taino, 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 Taino. If you pull up Arawak today, it's Taino Arawak. And then they put the and or slash sign, which means and or, right? They're messing with you, wordplay. But 7 years ago, when you typed in Arawak, it was just Arawak that came up. It was no Taino attached or tied to it. Majority of what you pull up was just Arawak. Now, when you're pulling it up, they have the old documents that they have typed out. They're not showing you the original form. It's like the Maroons, them telling you about this treaty. But when you ask for the treaty, they're asking you, well, you're not the holder of the treaty, so you can't see it. But then you're putting out typed versions of this treaty, but you have not seen the original version. So what does the original wording say in the thing? Did they call you Maroons in the original treaty? And the treaties before that, did they call you Maroons? Because there's treaties from the 15, 14, 1300s with American Indian tribes throughout the entire Americas with the Spaniards and these folks, but you can't find them. They can't show you them. No one could show you them. They're showing you something that's typed out. You want to see the original. You want to know what the wording says. What were they calling the people? It's just like when you look at the old maps. On the old maps, right? On the old maps, they showed dark-skinned people with curly hair. Then as you gradually go along, and depending on who was depicting the maps, right? Because when the Germans them started depicting the maps, they started showing dark-skinned hair people with curly hair, but after time, they started showing a lighter version with straight hair, brown skin, straight hair, light skin, straight hair, then straight Caucasian with straight hair, blonde hair, and red hair, and all sorts of stuff on these maps coming up. You understand? And this is where the agenda came in, to whitewash you, to whitewash our ancestors out of history. And even though these ones know that they have, like the Dominicans know that they have the blood of the Haitians in them, but yet still they still put a block off with that bridge. You understand? And still want to build up a wall to separate themselves from Haiti, but they're trafficking children out of Haiti to sell them. You understand? But they know that those are their closest cousins, but they don't want to go back and intermix back with them because they're trying to lighten out the blood. They know this, and these are the people who are calling themselves Taino going around. That's why when I see people nowadays, when I see people with even Taino in their name titles, I don't deal with them, because you should already know enough of the history now that these people made that shit up, and you're still rocking and going along with it, right? There's nothing that they could offer you that you can't do for yourself. And what you're doing is you are empowering the very same weapon that is out there to wipe you out. You're empowering them. It makes no sense. And I see the Maroons picking up with the ID scam as well. Because even the guy that they have down there called L.A. Lewis, right? His name is L.A. What is it? L.A. Lewis L. Bay? Something like that. L.A. Lewis L. Bay. And then you have Chief Curry that has the big MOOR of the Kung Pong Maroons on his Instagram page. And then they're trying to cover it up as, what is it? More Maroon objective, order objective, republic. Some shit like that. Right? It is what it is. You understand? So when you're taking on these ID cards that says Taino, Maroon. Our ancestors, there was no Maroon tribe. There was never a Maroon nation or none of that shit. So what was the oldest name that goes back to link our people? Arawak. You understand? There was an entire Arawakan nation running from the Caribbean, going up through North and South America. That is a fact. And a lot of these reset tribes now today, of the mixture of these Castilians and the Black Ladinos, what they've been doing, they created organizations to hide this fact, because they've genocide hundreds of those tribes. And the ones that they couldn't genocide, they pushed them out into the Caribbean. And the ones that they didn't push out, they isolated in the deep South. And then over time, of through our threats and coercion, they coerced them to go along with the narrative. You understand? So when you see people talking about, we have this Maroon ID. What is the difference from Chief Curry's Maroon ID and L.A. Lewis's Maroon ID? They both saying that they have fucking Maroon IDs. What is the difference? You understand? One is very open and lets you know that he's El Bay. So he's going with his Moorish name, and one is trying to hide it. Right? But putting it out there subliminally. You understand? But there was never a Maroon tribe. What were you called? They call you Maroons now because they're saying that you were isolated on an island, or you're a mountainous people, and these things. You understand? But once you take on those ID cards, what you did now is you created a corporation under the guise of a nation that has access to all your information, that goes now and has access to these bank bonds, these notes, that is put by the corporate government on the stock market through the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Okay? And this is how L.A. Lewis is getting his money. And then coming back in the community, talk about he's giving out free money. It's your money. He just got access to your account that you didn't know about. This is what they're doing. And they rationing out your own shit back to you. And then if your lands was not considered to be part of Maroon lands, they'll come to you and say, hey, come get this Maroon ID. You sign on to that. You know what that does now? Your land, the community outside of the Maroon communities now become a part of the Maroon community, and you're under new Maroon rulership. You understand? So acres of land that they didn't have, now they done acquired it through your signature. And it goes deeper than that, because you have Maroons in the mountains that don't want nothing to do with the people on the lower land. That's a fact. That's why when you listen to how they're talking, it's a separatist talk. And then you have Maroons on the lower land that's saying, but we're all Maroons. No, we're not. Going back to the 1300s and the 1200s, we weren't being called Maroons. Right? And maroon, originally, it's a color. It's a color of the chestnut tree. It's a color of the chestnuts. It's a color. It goes back to the Seminoles. And the Seminoles were multiple different tribes that came together that was being called Seminoles. And those were multiple different, when you start digging deep into history, Arawak tribes. And all they did over time was re-gave you new names for these tribes and wrote out the Arawak name out of history. ID scam, the new thing that was ID scams for genocide, paper genocide. It's ID genocide. If people are sincere, they will show you how to do your paperwork where you have your rightful identity on there. You don't have to take no oath onto them. None of these things. They're actually really and truly helping you with your paperwork. No hidden agenda, no nothing. They're not asking you for birth certificates. None of these things. Those type of things, those things, birth certificates, socials, family recorded history, is for you. It's for you to put in your documentations and have it for your personal record. So when your family is coming up, your family, they can track back your family history to show if you have legitimate claims to certain things. You understand? That's for your personal information. That's not for everybody's eyes to see. And I had to learn that the hard way, right? That's why I stopped telling people my family history. And I started digging more into my family history and I found a whole bunch of stuff, right? So pay attention, people. You're being scammed from all angles. And the reason why they keep kicking Arawak out of the thing is because the information, there's more information that I sent to him, but these are things that you have to see visually. So this is just to show you that how deeply they hacked into our stuff. Because they know what he's going to pull up. They know what I sent them. But best believe I'm going to redo this live. I'm going to redo this live and I'm going to do every and anything that I can do to try to get a laptop by this weekend or see if I can get someone to let me borrow their laptop. And I'm going to pull up all of this shit that I'm going to show. There's going to be people out there that is not going to like me after this, but I don't care. Right? There's a line drawn, and I stand where I stand. People that's charging them their $200 for ID processing fee. What? It's like $15 to $25, $30 total for delivery of an ID card. What? What? So you're paying that processing fee and you're giving them all of your personal information, right? They're giving your personal information back to the DMV that they're contracted with. The DMV then take your information and they create bonds, which goes on the stock market account, which goes on the stock market. These bonds are given a what is called a QSIP number, where whoever's handling the account uses that QSIP to have access, which you're supposed to also have that QSIP number. So your broker has it and you're supposed to have it, but you don't have it. But they, who you gave all this information to, has it because that QSIP number is how you get into their account. God damn it. But all right, you have anything more you want to say? Because I know that I know that you have a busy day, so we're just gonna wrap it up a little bit.
Yeah,
But go ahead, bro.
yeah, brother, you're right. You hear me? Yeah. So I'm saying, so I'm reading it. I'm reading the chat here, and gentleman, I
Hold on
believe
there, Arak.
he
Hold
says
on one
something like,
second, yeah.
"We don't make
Hold
our
on
own
one second.
IDs."
If
Yeah,
if 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 B if they call it put it on BitchTube. Uh, if that if that platform is ran by the flat Earth folks, I tried that a while back, and my name, my dark man name and stuff was blocked from it. Right? If that's the same folks with Sanchez and them that dread dude, it was blocked from it when they was trying to push what's his name, that pedophile dude, the pedophile dude that went to what's his name, the dude that had his
nature
son
boy.
touching his penis, Nature Boy. Yeah, that's when they was trying to push him heavy for him to be the front runner of that shit. Yeah, I tried 2 times. My name was not coming up. It would not register my stuff. And that's when I realized they're the ones that control that shit. So I'm not putting my stuff on there. This is why I created my podcast. So everything that I do is going on my podcast. I ain't putting it on nobody else's stuff. It's going on xtabi-media. And I'll put the link in the comment section when I post this video up. Right? But yeah. So nah, it's so much deep shit that was going on. Like, but yeah, anyway, all right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Brandon Dyer said, so why don't you we create our own ID and land in the islands? Yes, you can. Absolutely. You just gotta It's not hard, okay? You know who you are, and you put it on the record. It's a process because everybody have to get screened, especially when you're international travel. So you're gonna get screened. Why? Because the military occupies all of your airways, all of your waterways. So now they are they become the proxy because our defense system is disabled. Okay, they they took over by using war. You feel me? So every day, like we're always in a state of war. So this is why you need to be screened when you're dealing with them, right? But when you're getting screened, it's not you giving your information to them for them to create something for you. You know, what you are doing is making sure they have the documents. They're put on notice, so you won't be harassed. So putting them on notice is key. And that's how you get screened. And then they have to pull the gates and let you through. Because everyone has the right to be free, freedom of choice, freedom of religion, freedom of anything, freedom of tribal affiliation, freedom of what you choose to do. If you want to connect back to grandma tribe from the 1200s, you have a right to do that. No one can stop you from that. That's your full right. Okay? Once you know you're connected to that lineage, you could resurrect it. Right? All you're doing is resurrecting it. It finished. It exists already. You're not making anything up. You connect them back to the names, the primary names of the lands where you are. Right? So this is how it works. You know, you just have to know who you are and be confident and do the proper procedure in terms of putting them on notice, getting their stuff on some type of record, right? And you create your own ID based upon what you put out there on the record. You know, the ID are gonna have your information on it as far as your biometrics, right? Your fingerprint is the biometrics, okay? So that's key. But you have to know how to put it on the ID so it's visible on there and even scannable. You know, so when you're getting screened, they could actually literally scan the fingernail, the thumbprint, because that's what they do when you're coming through the TSA. They put you through a scanner, right? Or they scan something. So anything they scan, they have it already up into the database. So when you put your thumbprint on any document, that's scannable, and that's gonna link you back to even that original estate. See, you don't want to create names that disconnect you from your estate. This is the whole point of when you create your ID, you have to make sure it reflects who you truly are. Because you're the older and you were here first, it's first come, first in line, first in time, right? So that makes you the original owner, the original creditor, the original everything. It originated from you. So you don't have to worry about going through their system to be validated. You're already validated. Just the fact that you know who you are, you validate yourself. You don't need nobody validation. You don't need a DNA test kit. You don't need screening. You don't need to send your blood sample to anybody. No one. You should never send nothing to nobody. Your body fluids. And this is what this taino thing is doing. They want you to send your body fluids to their labs. That's back to eugenics.
Yeah.
Anything have to do with our laboratory is eugenics.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So you all better wake up, man, and find out who you are and claim it. If you know other people, you share the same ancestral ties to other people. Don't be scared to assemble and record it. Do a recording, because that's actually your extended family. You know, from a different type of tribe or neighboring tribe. That's your peoples. Just an extended part of your family. You know.
Yep.
Yes, Brandon. That's why I said you gotta be screened when you're going through those airports. You gotta be screened. Cause remember I tell you before, they are on the borders and they're looking. Their thing is they don't want anybody coming through that's not to them in their system that doesn't have certain immunizations, that doesn't have what do you call it now? Like they don't want nobody coming through that verified as a living being or a living healthy. All right, you're not a threat to them. They just want to know you're not a threat to them. So if once you don't pose as a threat to them, and you put that in the system, then you have the freedom to go back and forth, to go from point A to point B unmolested.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's a process. It's not gonna happen overnight. Don't work like that. Okay, so you all just gotta be aware, man, and just connect back to your army, and because it's time to connect back, because the mark of the beast is in full swing right now, full swing. Right? They're saying
Now,
if you don't, get this, then you can't do this. So that's the mark of the beast right there. Um, Go ahead, brother.
so now even in the video, there's a video saying that L.A. Lewis travels with his maroon ID, right? But he is traveling privately. You understand? Who the name? Hold on, bro.
Yeah. So I believe he was trying to say privately too. So if you have your own way to travel in the private, that's good.
Yeah,
Okay. If
yeah,
they have your own private boat, your own private jet, they cannot stop you from getting from point A to point B.
yeah. So that
So
it's private. That's even with the mask mandate that they were putting down. You gotta understand that the American Airlines, JetBlue, these things are owned by the corporation. That's their property. You understand? Traveling privately, they cannot enforce these corporate mandates on you. What they're enforcing is mandates on the straw man name. They're not enforcing it on the living, breathing man. And the straw man is the one that is traveling on these public airlines such as JetBlue, American Airlines, Spirit Airlines, and these things. But when you're traveling privately on like private planes, private jet, mask mandates don't go. These type of things don't go because you're traveling in your private capacity. That means your ID, your identification that you have, your private identification, you can use it on those private travels more so. You understand? You get less of a hassle traveling privately than you would traveling publicly. You understand? Because the TSA agents today, they're so ignorant. But even with TSA, when you're going through there and you're going through the screening, you're supposed to notify them a week, 2 weeks in advance. Hey, you're going to be traveling with someone and so, right? Now, the difference between traveling that way and traveling privately is that privately, you know that that plane is yours or you rented that plane. So you're not going to have a hassle from any airlines coming back because that country, if you're traveling on American Airlines, their airports can say, well, you know what? Yeah, they allowed you to travel, come down here, but we don't find this document, even though it is eligible, they could hold you for days, give you a hassle for days before they let you get back on a plane to come back up out of sheer ignorance or the fact that they're coercing you to try to stop you from using your travel passport, your ID, so on and so. But if it's privately that you're traveling, ain't nobody stopping you. You go about your business, you go and you come as you please. Right? So, these are the things that people should understand. There's stages to this thing. There's stages to this thing, right? That's why a lot of people now have their own private airfield. You know what I mean? The corporate government don't have no say so on private airfields. You have your land, and your land is big enough to have an airfield. It's a process, but you get your airfield. They can't stop you from traveling. It's your airfield. You understand? So, just understand people like there's many levels to this stuff. And what these people are doing right here is paper genocide.
absolutely. That's what it is. So, folks, please don't fall for the tricks out there. Okay, not worth it. It's a setup. It's a land grab. Um, and it's a reset. They're
Yeah,
trying to move the
it
right
all
places.
links in.
Pieces. Mhm.
It all links in with what's going on now with the vaccines and stuff too as well. But like I said, it's many stages to this. But I'm gonna try my best to get to a laptop this weekend so I could just show and prove than just talk, right? Because it's not that we have the proof. We have the proof to everything that we're talking about. You understand? So yeah, right. But we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna wrap it up, and then this weekend hopefully we'll get to properly do it, and I could properly screen share, and we could have our brother go in on a little bit more on these things as well, right? But you're joining these organizations, and they're just they're just scamming you, man. It's just a scam, right? There's like I told you guys, there's many people out here that has not gone through none of these organizations and that have done their paperwork and all these things. And American Airwax is one of them. You understand? It's I hate when people do that shit. They're not you don't have to go through these organizations. There you got some folks that went through some of these organizations and realized that they're scammers. You see what I'm saying? You're empowering an organization that's contracted with the corporation, an organization that when you go and you check the history of the history of the organization is the genocide you. They don't come at you with the gun because this part of the world is one of the most heavily armed, where the average household at least every other household has a firearm or two inside of it. So they have to come at you more so a paper genocide and push fake ass mass shootings and stuff out there to try to take your guns away from you. And they're using those dumbass Negroes that went on that highway that got shut off and blocked off. Their sovereignty didn't work for them there. Them dudes took their asses in. You understand? Ain't work for them there. You see what I'm saying? Don't you better not stay right there. Right? But yeah, so this is the thing that people have to has to understand of what's going on. So we have to be careful of the organizations that we're joining. They're disingenuous. Come, Shay. I'm sorry.
If you don't know your rights, you got none. I'm just gonna leave you with that.
Yep.
Okay. If you do not
And
know
you'll
your
be
rights, you do not have any.
yep. So what's happening
Okay.
now is it's like blood in the waters. You see everybody coming, come get this ID, come get that ID. We got this ID to say it's no different from a fucking sovereignty package that don't work or a dossier that retarded ass niggas got pushing all over the Caribbean right now that don't freaking work. That's entrapment. Shit that could send you to prison for your rest of your life. Midnight, stay where you at. This dog and this cat is running all over the place. But yeah, but anyway, like I said, this weekend, I'm going to try my best to get all the clarity of the information shown on the screen so that you guys can see it, right? And see what I'm talking about. You guys can see it for yourselves because it's one pile of bullshit that's going on. And everyone would say, well, we're doing this to try to better our people, but you're really not. You're killing the future generations to come before they even get a chance. But you feel like because you secured your little plot of land, or you tricked somebody else to sign some paperwork to add on their plot to your plot, right? Where you're going to say, well, see, now our territory is expanded, but we don't consider you, because what's going on in Jamaica now is Maroons don't consider people. Some of the Maroons don't consider people that's on the lowlands to be Maroons. And the fact is, there's no such thing as a fucking Maroon, right? The island is an Arawakan island, and Arawak people that is mixed with Irish descent. That is the truth and the reality of it. So now we have to go over these treaties that no one could find. You understand? How did then, if you won a war, how were you awarded 1,000 acres of land? How did the enemy award you 1,000 acres of land and saying this is your territory? Then after the war, gave you another 500 acres. Hmm? But where their lands are is where there's access to hundreds of thousands of other acres of land, but you can't go to those other hundreds of thousands of acres of land because their land is right there, and it's supposed to be sovereign. It's supposed to be separate. So people from the lower land can't just walk up through there. There's a gate. There's a block off point, and they'll turn you away. But the 75, 74, 100,000 acres behind their 1,500 acres or their 2,000 acres is land for everybody that's on the island. But you can't get to it because what they call maroon is right there at the border. You understand? This is the trick. So now the more of you that sign on to it, it will expand now the territory of even the communities that is outside of the maroon communities, and they'll say, yeah, we're all maroon. And the maroons who are pushing these things are Moors. They're Moors. So everything is going locked, stocked, and barreled back underneath the Moorish Science Temple, which goes back to the Moroccan Treaty of Peace and Friendship, which goes back down into Morocco, Tunis, and Algiers. You understand? So this is not a game, people. So this is why I say you have indigenous people selling out on other indigenous people and blocking other indigenous people. So when you get access to all the lands on the high land, because the lands on the lower land ain't worth shit, you're going to be blocked off from all the fruits. When shit really gets harder and harder, and the people from the lower lands wants to go in the mountains, they're going to be the line to tell you, fuck you, you can't come up here. So now you're getting an understanding of history repeating itself, of why they said some of us teamed with the colonizers and we were fighting each other. And those ones that was doing it are still contracted underneath the crown and still doing it to this very day.
They're working with the Watchers,
Yep.
right? Some Yaza. I need to go do your research on what's who and what some Yaza is.
Samyaza.
Yeah, they work for the Watchers. I don't know if you know what the Watchers are, but it's in play right now. This is what the Watchers do. They're eugenicists. The style is to alter things.
Yes.
So it
Once
goes
you
deep,
change,
people, very deep.
yeah, because once you start changing the name of the tribes throughout history, like I'm not going to say that the names have not been changed throughout history, but the names now today that are being used, it's being used in a genocidal way, in a way to segregate. You understand? To segregate the people from each other. That's how it's being used. Like Tainos know that their darker counterparts are the Arawakan people, or the Kalinago, whatever it is that they want to say, Carib people, so on and so. But they use the word Taino because that's just them saying, "Yo, we're lightening out the bloodline." That's them saying that, all right, our Castilian parents were the people them of the 70s, the hippies of the 70s, that were the $5 Indians that were stealing the lands from the Negroes at these times and the times before that, and was pushing them off of their own lands, and then set up corporate organizations known as the Cherokee, because Cherokee's not a tribe, it's an organization. Then they got the Bureau of Indian Affairs, you understand, that they also set up. You understand? So people need to understand this, and then they use these things as a colorism thing to say, well, these brown ones and these dark ones here that side more with their darker counterpart, we're not going to allow them to come on this reservation. But the paler ones, we're going to allow, and then we're going to shut it off from these ones here, and then we're going to breed out the lighter ones now, and it's going to look all brown, or the ones that have that Asian looking feature from the black Chinese that was coming to the Americas in the 17 and the 1800s, right? So understand how deep this is, people. It's not a game. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to wrap it up. I thank everyone for joining us. And we're going to do our best to give you guys a proper proper live because we've been trying to do this for over a week now. We've been trying to do it, and it's just been a lot of technical difficulties, and it's just been a lot of stuff. How you doing? Thank you. So we're definitely gonna get into it, and this weekend we're definitely gonna make sure that you guys get a proper live. All right, with visuals and everything. Brother, if you got any last words or closing words that you want to say, and we could wrap it up.
Yeah, I said thank you for joining the live and just do your research, all right? Know who you are. Once you know who you are, put it in words. Put it in words, you give notice. Or put it in words and create a record. Okay, and then and then give actual notice and then you could start from there. But it's a process. But don't be afraid to claim who you are. If you know who you are, say it. Or else if you play around, you are gonna be AI soon. It's not a game, right?
Yep,
So
and that's another thing.
yeah. But that's it for I'm out. Peace out.
All
xtabi-media,
right,
all right? xtabi-media.
all right, all right, brother. So the podcast is xtabi-media. Just put it in Google, it will come up. xtabi-media. It will come right up into Google. Right. So this is where we are going to be uploading the recordings that we cannot post on YouTube. We'll put it on there. And if you want a lot of information about what's going on with COVID, we have a lot of recordings that we had downloaded from other platforms and stuff that we've uploaded that is chock filled with information. Okay. So yeah. With that being said, peace, love, light to you all. Peace.